Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Read a Paper and Discuss It. And in this journal club, where we will choose a paper that we all want to read, and we'll read in 2 hours, and then we'll come back to summarize and discuss the paper. And I'm the host today. My name is Qian Chen, and I am a PhD student at Monash University. And
Okay, me, Yota Kawashima. I'm doing research assistant in Japan.
Hi, I'm Ryoichi, and I'm PhD student in Japan.
Okay. Now, as the host today, I'll first give a summary of our today's paper, which is titled The Mnemonic Basis of Subjective Experience, written by Hawan Lau and colleagues, published this year. And in this paper, the authors proposes a new mechanism that is potentially underlying the subjective quality of our conscious experience. So first of all, when it comes to subjective quality, we talk about, the redness of red or, the particular sensation of listening to a tone, so on and so forth. And often in consciousness research, we regard this kind of quality to be very difficult to describe and examine on their own because they are completely internal and private. However, nowadays, we think it is possible to describe the qualities of these experiences, not by its own, but by examining how the quality of one experience is similar to some other experiences and dissimilar to, another set of experiences. For example, seeing red is similar to seeing orange, but different from seeing green, so on and so forth. As such, each experience could have a giant space of similarity relationships with all the other possible experiences, which the authors named mental quality space here. And this is potentially one way to describe of subjective qualities. And now that we know this is a new way to describe the subjective quality of experience, sorry, let me go back. And with these mental quality space, it's not only theoretically possible, but it is also possibly implicated in the brain because we already found that each distinct experiences have their unique and selective neural representations. And at the same time, they are also encoded in a smooth and continuous way in which similar experiences have overlapping neural representations, while more distinct and dissimilar experiences have more distant and more different kind of neural representations. Okay, now that we know that its subjective qualities can be described by similarity relationships, both kind of phenomenally and neurologically, how do we keep this kind of giant mental space meaningfully related to our moment-to-moment experiences, such that when we see red, the redness is the product of how it is similar to orange and different from green, rather than just some kind of after-the-fact comparisons that we can make. Here, the authors propose the implicit memory mechanism as the key mechanism to maintain such space. So for some definition, implicit memory is traditionally defined as the automatic procedural memory related to the kind of motor skills we perform. For example, when we play the piano, we don't need to explicitly record every single finger movements we want to make. It all comes very natural. And this automatic system is key to keeping mental quality space relevant, in which when we have a certain experience, this underlying mechanism automatically compare this experience with all other experiences we already had and we store in memory, and such that our subjective quality of our current experiences can be shaped. And it's important to know that this process is very automatic. When we see something, we are not, explicitly aware that it is similar to this and not dissimilar to that. And also because it's very automatic, forcing someone to articulate the subjective quality and convey them becomes very difficult. And this kind of implicit memory system is often implicated in the prefrontal and parietal cortices, as these areas send top-down signals to the sensory areas and access the neural representation of each subjective experience we previously mentioned. And these areas are capable of accessing the meaning of these representations and make comparisons. Now, while we have implicit memory, which is sufficient for describing the subjective quality of very basic and simple experiences, such as listen to a tone or seeing a color, to have more complex and meaningful conscious experiences, such as experiencing a sequence of consecutive experiences as parts of one event, or perceiving a series of tones as beautiful music, and also have some emotional responses to them. Implicit memory is not enough. And here the author proposed that we need explicit memory to form meaningful experiences. Now, explicit memory composed of two main parts. First is episodic memory, which is basically our memory of life events, and semantic memory, which is our knowledge of things around us, such as the meaning of a word. In everyday life, explicit memory shapes our experiences by projecting our previous, memory to our current experiences, thus form meaningful understanding and appraisal. And again, various prefrontal and parietal areas are crucial for this function, with their direct connections to both the memory circuits and the sensory areas. In a sense, these areas, they mediate between the memory circuits and the neural representation of incoming signals, thus make our experience semantically meaningful. So in summary, our subjective experience is primarily underlined by its similarity relationships to all other possible experiences. And this is what we call the mental quality space. Such space is primarily maintained by our implicit memory, whereas our explicit memory also play a role in making our experiences more meaningful. That's it.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm totally agree with your summary.
Any point of discussion that you guys want to make?
First, just a comment. So, I know that this relational approach has been studied. I don't know when, but not recently. But it kind of restarted, and then many researchers in consciousness field started talking about that. Is kind of interesting. Like now, was talking about relations, and also Hakuan now he support his own high order theory, and that is a little bit different from what now is talking, but still try to consider this relation in his or their theories of consciousness, high order theories. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's just my comments. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was wondering, that's how the relationship between the higher order and this topic in this paper. So the author explained or introduced the higher order theory, right, and related to this like this topic, and the higher order theory is better to explain the subjective experience or similarity relationship, right? I didn't understand the logic.
Well,
Yeah.
I also I also found it a bit difficult to understand how high order theories most compatible with this kind of perspective when to look at subjective qualities of experience. But I guess one point I can make for this theory is that this kind of implicit mechanism where it from moment to moment it constantly updates the incoming signal and make comparisons. It's probably similar to what higher order theory has been proposing for consciousness, where you have a higher order mechanism monitoring the incoming sensory representation. In that regard, it can be related.
So including the monitoring the relationship or similarity relationship is also like the meta representation or something.
Yes, so especially in the part where they mention prefrontal and parietal cortices are very important because they send top-down signals to these sensory areas to access what's going on. That sounds really similar to what higher order theories already been proposing.
I see. Thank you. Yeah.
Jota, you have something to say?
Yeah, so just the same comment as Ryoichi. It's not super clear why, or this monitoring, the mechanism is kind of, used or used to capture the relationship, implicit, relation. But again, I could not, I just couldn't read this paper in detail, and then I missed really important, points they made. So yeah, maybe I need to read this paper again sometimes. But I'm now, checking the paper, and then they said, and because the mechanisms for perceptual reality monitoring are involved in determining whether subjective experience occurs, it is possible that the same mechanism might also support means that
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Although that they might also be there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I actually found this mental quality space quite compatible with IIT. In some of some axiom, I guess.
I guess exclusion or something.
Yeah. Or
one
information.
Yeah, information maybe,
Yeah.
One experience is out of many other possibilities. Yeah, that's one axiom in IIT. But I think, I don't know whether there are any papers talking about the relationship between consciousness and memory. Of course, in memory, episodic memory, subjective conscious experiences, but, paper talking about the relationship between consciousness and memory in a little bit different way, right? Because in order to, well, first of all, consciousness is, or one experience, if we want to describe it, we need to talk about the relation. And for that, we need, memories. And this way of thinking is, I think, just makes sense just to me. Because, without any memory, I don't think it's possible to relate one experience with other experiences.
I see.
So yeah, that's just makes sense. And then and also they distinguish implicit and explicit. And the explicit memory is, I guess, more to do with episodic memory. And then they say that the complex experiences is requires more explicit memories. And then sure, and then implicit or more simpler experiences, or just red cell versus blue. That kind of experiences will not require explicit memory. And sure, I understand, or I agree with that.
Actually, with the implicit memory, I was thinking when they talk about implicit memory, they were first talking about it in terms of as if it was a cognitive function where it operates to compare memory with the others. It's like a skill. But then this function also requires long-term explicit memory, I suppose, because don't you need to remember what green looks like to be able to, for that implicit memory mechanism to draw them out and then compare them?
Yeah. Mm.
And I'm not sure if you are only if the mechanism they refer to is just that cognitive function which serves to compare memories, whether you can call that a memory or a skill.
I see.
It's more like a cognitive function or like cognitive skill rather than like a memory mechanism.
I see.
For sure, I get the main thing they're trying to argue there.
Yeah, so I think you're mm, so every time when we try to describe our own experiences, that will require some cognitive functions, I think, because verbalization of our experiences like will require, I don't know, realization of experiences, and then after that we need to say, okay, this is blue and this is red and this is green, blah blah blah, and then that's not what we are doing when we perceiving the world.
So this is for explicit memory, or this is, your explanation is for explicit memory, not only but also implicit memory.
Yeah, so I don't know. So definitely when we describe our experiences, we need, explicit memories, because if we relate red versus green and then we are seeing red now, we have to remember what the green looks like. That requires, explicit memories. But that's only for describing our own experience of red. So this kind of, cognitive functions are required when we make a report. But when we, perceiving the world, we do not need, that kind of cognitive functions, and then that part maybe. So I forgot what I wanted to say, but
I see.
yeah, so yes, when we try to describe experiences, we are thinking about relationship, or we definitely need relationship between one experiences and the others, explicit. But in daily life, while we are perceiving it something, even though, or maybe even these experiences are complex, I don't know, or what, when I say complex, it means more naturalistic or something. But it, I guess, will not require any, explicit memory. Only, implicit is, implicit memories are enough. So
I think the paper was trying to say, if we are experiencing something very meaningful, then we need explicit memory that allows us to form some kind of schema that we can apprehend our current situation. That kind of, maybe it's something very similar to predictive coding or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say is that, in that sense, they try to include some, cognitive functions, not the experience per se. Of course, when we interpret some experiences or add some meaning to the experience or one object within one experience, we need some complex processing, or I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
What you're trying to say is when we are not explicitly trying to do something about our experience, or we are just passively experiencing, we don't really need
So my point is, kind of, implicit memories are fine, I guess. Do we really need explicit memories to experience something? I don't know. But I don't know. Explicit memories. My understanding of this, term, explicit memories, is that when you're recalling something, you are conscious of that, or you are consciously doing that, recalling that, and then implicit memory is just, without any, or being conscious of doing that kind of recall processing, just happen. So automatic.
I think the explicit memory is your memory of something that requires articulation. For example, remembering the content of a book. Even if you're not asked to recall the content of the book, your memory of the content of the book itself is an explicit memory. It serves as a contrast to your memory for motor skills such as walking. You don't need to be like, now I put my left leg in front and then my right leg and then my left leg or something like that. Okay. So that's the difference between implicit and explicit memory.
Okay. So I just misunderstood these two terms. Yeah.
Then I think I understand your point. What you were trying to say is when we experience something, we don't explicitly recall things to compare them with. Yeah, that's actually compatible with what the authors were trying to say with their implicit memory function. So they do all these comparison and similarity relationships kind of automatically and unconsciously.
Mm.
But the product of it is your phenomenal experience, the quality of the experience. But do we? Yeah, I'm not sure. But do we need memory for that? So do we need the memory for for all other possible experiences to get a subjective quality of an experience? You know, like a very classic thought experiment of black and white Mary. You know, when Mary walk out of the black and white room for the first time in her life and see red, does that mean, you know, her experience of redness is completely different from another person who's been living in a colorful world the whole time, because she doesn't have the memory of seeing red and blue and yellow, thus no comparison.
Nice. But she
Or the
knows,
actual
but she knows that the red is different from the white and black, right? So she's belief is that the red is not she experienced, right? But she can't differentiate between the red and blue and something other color from the white and black.
Yeah, so what you are trying to say was if she only draws on her memory, then she can only make very limited comparisons between colors.
Yeah.
But if we are drawing from her actual ability to compare between colors, then she can make just as many comparisons, just as many comparisons as the others. Yeah, I think the latter. You know, it's the latter ability that shapes her experience, not the former. I think. I don't know. Because I've never been living in a black and white room my whole life.
Yeah.
My expectation is that, you know, experiences or experience change our structural brain, the physical structure, you know, synapse connections. So, you know, if I live in only a black, white colored world, then my experiences will show different from others who live in a colorful world. And then memory, when we say memory, I guess it includes that kind of, you know, synaptic connectivity change or something, because that kind of information or that kind of, you know, circuit also have some memories. Not something, you know, stored in the hippocampus or something. So how the, you know, neurons are connected also important. And then that, I guess, something the local theories, the first order theories talking about that kind of, you know, wiring is important when we relating one thing to the other or something. So, so yeah, in that sense, memory, we memory. Okay. Yeah, in that sense, it maybe we can, you know, interpret memory as an just, you know, connection, circuit connection. And
I see.
if we start thinking about that, maybe, you know, this, you know, relation approach is more, you know, I don't know, related to IIT, maybe. I don't know, you know, I was, doing some research in IT, so my perspective can be biased. So I will not say further, but yeah. And anyway, I understand that this implicit processes to relate one thing to the other is important for experiences. Yeah, I agree. Other thing, other thing. Grid like coding in the prefrontal. Yeah. Uh, to be honest, I didn't have time to read the detail, specifically the later part before the conclusion, and I'm sure they are talking about some benefit, functional benefit of having this relation or reality monitoring or something. And also they propose some possible experiments that where we can test their proposal using some memory recall or something, but I just didn't have time, so I could not, talk about that. Yeah. I don't know how long we have been talking this paper. Maybe you 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I'm not sure how long we've spent, but any comments or question you want to make? Chanshen, Yoichi?
Yeah, I already asked my question. I was thinking this memory, the importance of memory to the quality of experience versus your natural capacity, as decided by your visual system, auditory system, sensory system, and your brain. It's like a nature and nurture thing. Yeah. Yeah, you can just imagine like some of the bees, they can see the violet spectrum, and you also put the bee into a black and white room and get them to see red for the first time. Does the redness they see differ from, a human, human black and white Mary? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah. And also, that there was this clinical case, very classic. This person, he lost all his explicit memory due to brain damage. I don't know, maybe that would mean there's some major impairment or in his conscious experience, or you can even say he's less conscious than us then because of his lack of memory to other possible experiences.
Yeah, I see. But he also have only implicit memory, right? So explicit memory, he cannot. But how about implicit memory for him?
His implicit memory was intact, but it was those motor skills kind of memory. But they didn't really test. It's also impossible to test things like, what his home looks like or something like that. Without those kind of memory of past possible alternative experiences, it would be difficult to make the comparison in real time, right? Even if your implicit mechanism is intact. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of the kind of question I have for this paper, I guess.
I see.
I don't know. Possible approaches to use TMS or that kind of, stimulation. See whether I'm not sure whether it works or not, but we can, try whether that kind of stimulation first, change or not bury it, but diminish the effect of memory, and then after that, we see whether that changed the experiences or not. We can try that, but I don't know. But memory.
Is it in like what's the medial side of the brain? Probably difficult to do a TMS.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that's true.
That's why. And we can't do this on humans because it's not ethical. Then we have to do that on monkeys, but then we don't trust monkeys.
Okay. So one last comment from me or a question. So we were talking about the black and white room, Mary's house, and then maybe do you think it's possible to compare the result from people living in different areas in the world by using online platform? Like you are Chash and Ryoichi, you are doing online experiment and then collecting data from all over the world, and then maybe I don't know if you go to the North Pole or South Pole, then where the light is not that much or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that kind of
Or compare results from different regions of the world. Some regions they're more colorful. Their culture prefers using vibrant colors. Compare that with regions of the world where it's like grayish and
I don't know. Maybe like just collecting data from people in North Europe where there are many cloudy days throughout the 1 year, and then there are no. But if you let's say collect data from I don't know, South Asia or something, maybe the light that they receive from the sun is much more than people in Europe or something. I don't know. That's just
we can compare Northern Europe with like Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Because Northern Europe, most of the time is like covered in snow.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Maybe. I don't know. But that's, kind of plausible compared to,
actually
force, maybe into, one black and white room and see whether
No.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my last, comment. And then Ryoichi, you have anything? No?
Yeah. So I totally agree with the process for conscious experience related memory in this paper, and I'm thinking that the memory, the definition is depend on the field or the researcher. So I think this discussion is how to say confused by with the researchers who are who are a lot of fields. So I'm thinking that in this paper I think, and you think that explicit memory is like the sentence needs the sentence or like a declarative memory. I think we use that. And in this studies, that implicit memory is like the non-declarative memory, like the behavioral memory,
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But in the other situation, like the for perception or cognitive task or something, implicit memory is also like the face perception or so normally in the introduction or before the experiment, participant will remember this phase or something, and then after of the presented the image, uh, the, do you see this phase, and this is the explicit memory task, but the other phase also participant memory, right? I think also
Incidental memory.
incidental memory or something. And it is a little bit relation or something. I think so. For me, a little bit confusion for
Yeah,
the word.
yeah. Yeah, and also implicit memory can sometimes also refer to like under threshold presentation of a stimuli,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
still
yeah, yeah.
people could remember seeing it or like, have
Mm-hmm.
higher confidence in choosing that or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So, just my comment and how relationship between this implicit and explicit. Or explicit memory includes implicit memory, or they are totally different concept or something.
Mm.
Mm.
I see.
Yeah, this point I think we will rethink
Mm.
if you want to understand this, I think.
Mm.
Okay, yes.
Oh,
Last comment of mine.
so shall we wrap up discussion here? Then,
Yeah.
okay, then. See you. Bye bye.